Okay guys, so I'm going to start, I gotta do some studying and then I gotta do some studying and then I've gotta start doing some work. But so I'm at this Panera Bread and the manager came up to me and I don't know if you guys will see it in these videos. So I'm going to be posting this video today, and then you're going to see more videos in the past as it rolls forward. So you're going to see a video where I mention a Madam R and a Madam M, right? So remember those names, Madam R and Madam M. So this manager came up to me and she told me that those girls complained. Well, those girls, I think it was Madam R. They complained to the manager that I was talking with them. And then the manager came up to me and was like, hey, you can't be talking to customers. Now, remind you, at this time, I've talked to like about a dozen people in this Panera Bread, and it was those two girls. Now, something what's crazy is you're going to mention in that video, in Madam R, I'm going to mention how I could feel when something was off in the conversation. I felt it in my body and I kept trying to apologize and kind of figure it out, like what was going on. And then she went and she apologized. And then she went and complained to the manager and like was trying to do all that stuff. Even though it was a one time at Panera Bread, but she had to complain to somebody. She had to go to the parental figure, which was the manager in the Panera Bread, right? So this is something I want to say. First off, I literally felt in my body when someone lied to me, right? Because I'd asked her if she was okay, if I defended her, and like I tried to handle it there like an adult with her right in front of me. And remember, I talked to these girls for maybe 12, 15 minutes. It wasn't very long. Like so 12, 15 minutes, and I asked it several times if they wanted me to leave, right? I was like, do you want me to leave, da 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 da? And it was fine, it was natural. And I've done this, remember, I've done this game with literally about a dozen people, maybe 14 people, right? And these two complained, right? These two young women. And so, guys, I could literally feel in my body when she lied, right? And remember the first rule of the game, and it's the only rule of the game. That's universal. You cannot lie. So when I asked her, hey, were you offended? Did something upset you? Like with anything like that? She told me that she was fine when she wasn't fine. She was not fine, and then she went to the manager about it and complained behind my back. Guys, this is how you ruin society. You guys want to see firsthand experience of how you ruin society? Stuff like that. That's how you ruin society. Because I was having an open dialogue, right? We were talking and having an open dialogue. I asked her because I could sense something was wrong. And I was like, hey, what's wrong? Can I help you? She's like, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. Then she went and complained behind my back. So then the manager has to come in and intervene with me and be like, oh, hey, you can't be talking to customers. Now, you remember, of those 12 people I talked to, these two girls complained. You know, maybe 8 were indifferent, and I know five people who said, I'm so glad you came up and talked to us. And 2 even said, I'm so happy, right? 1 helped me, gave me a ride. The other came up and said, thanks again, and shook my hand. He was so happy and he loved the game so much. So think about that. Because 1 girl complained, I can't talk to any more people here. What I have, my message and the gift I have to share with anybody, because that girl complained and I don't want to piss off the manager at Panera Bread. Now, nobody here gets to benefit. Nobody, because 1 girl complained, right? When I asked her, because I could feel something was wrong, and she lied to me. Guys, that's the damage a lie can do. So when I say don't lie, you cannot lie in the game. That's what I'm talking about. You cannot lie because that's what happens, right? And you need to understand, so Madam R, if you're watching this, you ought to feel ashamed of yourself. And if you feel shame and if you feel guilt, it's because of this. It's this weakness of character inside of you, this inability to speak your truth when you're giving opportunities to do it and to act like an adult, right? She's in school, she's trying to build up her life, she wants to make more money. She's gonna graduate college in May, and yet she still has the inability with a friend present in a public place to speak her true feelings, that she has to go and bypass that through a manager. Like, think of how weak that is, guys. Think about how much damage that type of thinking and that mindset cause. And I'm not saying she's bad, like I'm not judging her, I'm not condemning her, but it's like, what is the effect of that? What is the effect of that? Manager comes, talks to me. Now, none of these people get to benefit. Now, I want you to apply this rule carte blanche. Right? Let's apply this rule carte blanche. So the rule is this: when you're in a public place, don't disturb people you don't know. So if you are in a public place and you don't talk to anyone you don't know, how do you get to meet anybody? How do you meet anybody new if, as a social rule, we've decided that everybody is terrified of everybody else, and if you talk with them, you're going to offend them? And because people are unable to manage their own individual relationships because they're so childish and undeveloped, so then how, and yeah, I'm being a little judgmental because I'm a little upset. And I'm upset because, guys, this is ridiculous. This is childish, right? She could have told me, and I've been like, I don't even know what's going on. I have a feeling what's going on, but it's really more her lack of awareness of what's going on with herself, right? And once again, you guys, remember, I've talked to dozens of people. Nobody had an issue. Nobody came to the manager. 2 people, in fact, thanked me. Well, actually 5 people said, we're so grateful you came up to us. That's the words they use. And then 2 people were so expressed, they wanted to really express that attitude. 1 person even has donated. So it's like, I've helped all these people, but because 1 person. Now, it doesn't mean I'm gonna stop my mission, but I need to work in this Panera Bread, and I respect the manager, so I'm gonna respect her and follow that rule, right? And I understand I can go other places, but imagine if every place I went, because 1 person complained and they felt a type of way. When, remember, the conversation was literally like, are you offended? Are you fine? Yeah, it's okay, it's good, yeah, everything's good. And then she complains behind my back. Guys, it's this sniveling, snaky, weaselly behavior that is destroying this country. And then people say why don't people respect women, right? No, I'm not saying I don't respect women, right? But I'm saying it's that type of behavior, and you see a lot of girls do it because there's a lot of passive aggressive behavior, right? And feminine energy, because there's men who do this too, right? You guys understand, it's not just men and women. It's people who have a lot of typically feminine energy. And the toxic feminine does that. It doesn't take accountability. It goes around, it seeks to manipulate, and it seeks to destroy and take these things out. And that's how the toxic feminine works, right? That's one of the reasons why I record all my conversations, right? Especially with women, right? That's why I record every single thing. So that when people say, well, you said this and you said that, it's like, I didn't say that. And I record all my conversations. That's why I record them in the game. And I won't talk to a woman unless I record it. Because it's stuff like this, guys. This is why we have to do it. This is why. Because she can go and she say, and it was a public area. It was that seat right there. It was that seat right there. That's where they were sitting. And there were people all around us. And then she goes and complains to the manager and knows, oh, he was bothering us. Why is she coming to the manager? She's come in once. She doesn't even know I'm here. Yet it was in her mind to go and complain to the manager and go do that because that's how distraught or whatever was going on. You know what I mean? So think about the lack of awareness and the lack of accountability that creates. Because now she's created an environment where it's like, okay, well now nobody can talk to anybody else and nobody's gonna disturb anybody else. But because nobody disturbs anybody else, nobody helps anybody else, unless there's some leverage or power. So do you see how that little seed of dissent and that little dishonesty, because she lied, I asked her if she was okay. And I said, if there's anything you need, I'll solve it for you. But because she was unable to do that and she didn't follow through on that, suddenly everything, that's the damage 1 lie can do, guys. That's the damage 1 lie can do. That's why we don't lie, and we cannot lie when we play the game. So if you want to get what you want, and that's why it's like she wants to go to degrees, she wants to make money, but she's not going to do it because she lies, right? She won't be able to work with the universe or get what she wants from life because she lies. And it's just like, Madam R, if you want to get what you want and you're watching this, you lie. So stop lying. Right? When someone asks you what's going wrong, take accountability for your own feelings, speak up, right? And then look at their reaction. But when you go and you do this snaky, weaselly behavior, and Madam M, you were right there too. So if you're there encouraging that in a friend, both those girls, right? You guys really need to look in the mirror and ask yourselves, why did we do that? Because that's the environment you're creating. You say, oh, we feel like the world's unsafe and you don't want it, but you're the ones creating the unsafe environment because you lie. You're the ones that's creating the unsafe environment because you complain and you don't handle things in a personal way. You're the one that creates the unsafe environment because you're unable to handle things like an adult. Someone literally can show you goodwill and you turn it around and you turn it into poison. So let me give an example just to make this super clear. If I take a glass, a nice clean glass, a cup, right, and I run it in the dirt, and I run it in the dirt, and then now the cup has a bunch of dirt on it, and I run water through it, that water is going to be dirty, right? You're going to drink that water, it's going to be dirty water. You have to run water through it a lot, and you have to clean the cup first before you can drink water out of it. And that's what these girls need to do with their minds. Because right now, you can put clean water in, goodwill. You can give honesty, clarification, goodwill, wanting to help people like I am, right? And do that. But no matter what you do, guys, it's always gonna come out dirty water. Now, people have to take accountability and you have to protect yourself. You have to protect yourself around that, but you have to make sure. And a part of me is thinking, and I'm terrified to say this, but it's like I might not be able, but the thing is, it's like this is the issue, because in my mind I'm thinking, okay, so maybe I shouldn't talk to any girls. I think girls could really benefit from this, but it's like that's what's going through my mind now, is that I have this message, I want to help people, but to protect myself, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't talk to any women. Because if I talk to women and people with all, because if I talk to a guy, no one's gonna care. There's like, people will care, but no one will really care if a guy complains that someone's bothering, that another man was bothering him. They're gonna be like, solve your own problem. But if a woman complains that a man is bothering her, then suddenly people start fearing for her safety. And then I become public enemy number one. And so I remember I asked this one girl who was working at a movie theater out, and like that's now going through my mind. I remember I asked this one girl out at a movie theater, and a part of me is like, okay, now is she going to complain to the manager and I'm going to get in trouble? But guys, think about this. This is the environment we've created, right? So women, you need to understand, guys don't approach you because these experiences, I'm not saying it's you women, but I'm saying if you're a girl who does this, you're creating the unsafe environment. You're the ones that's making the problem. You are the problem. It's not these guys. It's not these men. Because a guy can literally show you all the goodwill in the world, but because you feel as one way or another, you complain, you create this drama around it, then he feels unsafe to ask anybody because it's going to jeopardize his ability to eat in a restaurant or go to a mall when he literally just showed interest and goodwill toward you, which is perfectly, totally natural. But then you're going to say, oh yeah, like, no, I felt weird. Yeah, you felt weird because you're messed up and you have a dirty glass. So that's my response to Madam M, Madam R. If you guys see this, that's my response to you. And if I saw you in person, this is what I'd tell you to your face. I think, like, I'm pretty upset, right? So I've used some pretty strong language. But guys, this is the problem. This is what's making the world a harder place to live in, because people don't take accountability and people lie. Even if you say, hey, I want to make it good, people will lie to your face and create drama. So it's like, Madam R, Madam M, you guys are struggling, you guys are going through whatever, start with yourselves because you're making the world an unsafe place. Anyway, like and subscribe if you guys learned something. Appreciate what you said. Thank you and take care.